This is Life Science, Unit 7, Part 4. Please turn to page 7, and we're going to start today with our highlighting question and summary on this page. As you're highlighting, I want you to notice a couple of things. Make sure you highlight, of course, Darwin's name here. But here where it says the theory of evolution by natural selection, if you'll please make sure that's highlighted. Draw a box around this bullet point, because that's really kind of a definition for that. So will you also take your pencil or highlighter and right where my arrow is, look at that a second, you're going to take an arrow and draw it from here and point it to that bullet point so that you realize that's what that is explaining. And then down here, if you'll also put a box around the example of Darwin's finches. Okay, after you've done that, you can cap your highlighter and put it back in the basket. You won't need it anymore today. And move on to write your 3 questions with 3 different question starters. And also please write a 20-word gist about Charles Darwin. At this point, pause the video until you are done. All right, before moving on, please make sure that you've got everything done on this page. So make sure everything's highlighted, you've got 3 questions, and that you have your 20-word gist about Charles Darwin written down. All right, and then at this point, I want you to pause the video and go up to the teacher and get a stamp for assignment number 3, and that's going to be both pages 5 and 7 are for 1 stamp. So please look over and make sure they are both completely done before you go up for your stamp. All right, go to your score sheet, please, and add assignment number 4, which was going to be that page that we're calling Unit 7 stuff. So it's page 6, and it's going to be worth 5 points. After you've written on your score sheet, go ahead and turn to page 6. And today we are going to use that final box, box number 4, and we're going to put the title in there, Giraffes. So you're going to be watching a short video about Charles Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection, and in there they feature some giraffes as an example. So after the video, this is what you're going to be asked to do. You're going to be asked to do a quick write to explain why over time giraffes have ended up with long necks. You do not need to write during the video. Wait till after the video, but I just wanted you to know what you should be looking for.
The theory of evolution was developed by Charles Darwin and published in his book On the Origin of Species. He explained that natural selection is the process behind evolution. Charles Darwin developed his theories after his adventures upon the HMS Beagle. In his travels, he observed that creatures found on the islands he visited were similar to ones found on the mainland, but appeared to be slightly different. It wasn't until he returned home that he came to the conclusion that species are specially modified to their environments, and that's why they differ. He developed 4 conditions explaining why this happens. Darwin's theory of natural selection by descent with modification is testable and observable fact. Experiments have been conducted in the wild and in labs. Let's dive deeper into Darwin's 4 conditions. Condition number 1. Individuals within a population differ. There are features that differ within populations of the same animal. In our case, the feature that varies between our giraffes is neck length. Some giraffes were born with long necks, some were born with short necks. Condition number 2. The differences are, at least in part, passed from parents to offspring. Darwin's descent with modification is the idea that offspring are fairly similar to their parents, with some genetic differences. Condition number 3. Some individuals are more successful at surviving and reproducing than others. In the case of our giraffes, the long neck individual did not acquire its neck by stretching to grab the leaves. Instead, individuals within the population were born with a neck length that was longer than others. Because the longer neck allowed them to reach the food that was otherwise unattainable, it gave them an advantage. Condition number 4. The successful individuals succeed because of variant traits they have inherited and will pass on to their offspring. Giraffes with the longer neck advantage are in better health and able to pass this feature to their offspring. Because this trait is more successful than shorter necks, more individuals in the population have it. Over time, this process can result in populations that specialize for particular environments and may eventually result in emergence of new species. In other words, natural selection is an important process, though not the only process, by which evolution takes place within a population of organisms. Let's review. Individuals within a population differ. The differences are, at least in part, passed from parents to offspring. Some individuals are more successful at surviving and reproducing than others.
Excuse me.
The successful individuals succeed because of variant traits they have inherited and will pass on to their offspring. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.
All right, so in box number 4, you are going to do a quick write, explain why over time giraffes have ended up with long necks. I'd like you to try to write for the entire 2 minutes. All right, so start wrapping it up. And if you need an extra second to wrap it up, then please pause the video at this point to finish. And at this point, please pause your video and go get your stamp for the number 4 assignment, Unit 7 stuff.